What about you, Jonny?
So I'm drawn, can you hear me? I'm drawn to patterns a lot in kind of the GIFs that I enjoy. One person, well, also kind of a twofold. I enjoy kind of very poppy 8-bit animated GIFs. Lol Internet is one of my favorites. She's amazing. She's really good at what she does. But I'm also drawn to the kind of other side of that, which is very flat, black and white, kind of maybe not like more old school, but just kind of much more plain and simple. So guy's Dylan Fisher. He is a GIF artist who I think I sent you his website. Should be up there. And then my partner at OK Focus turned me, he created a website called Dump FM, and he turned me on this guy Noisia, whose portfolio is amazing. So that's Noisia. Can we go to Dylan's?
Which one?
It's that one.
Okay.
So Dylan made this series of GIFs. He's going to click through them at random. But it's just kind of like a study in looping patterns. And they're super hypnotic. And like each one of these is really great. And like the work you put into this series is notable, I think. So I'm kind of drawn to abstraction in GIFs, and maybe that comes from being you know, a web designer and kind of thinking about how these things like can fit into a larger system, as opposed to being like you know, a GIF that's like a clip from a movie or something. Like I understand the power of that, and I think that like that is kind of the true essence of the GIF is like storytelling, right? And so this is maybe you know, Dylan's way of telling a story, just in a much more kind of abstract manner. So I'm drawn to work like this. Mostly Dylan and Noisia are two prime examples, I think.
Awesome.
The ones that I'm drawn to, I think favorites-wise, tend to be more like, the more absurd the better, essentially. My sources are mostly Tumblr, Milkshake, and this was actually my first like big like, yes, this is the thing right here for me. I have a pretty amazing collection of Deal With It. I actually was commissioned by Regretsy to do some Deal With It drawings, so kind of cross-media there. Animation is a great resource as well, flipping things out, switching things around. I could do nothing but blingy. We've got Martin Luther King Jr. here. So really it's just, I guess, either taking older elements. I think the most serious or like artistic or thoughtful use of GIFs that I have is not this, but there's an internet archaeologist that is good as well. But these are all YouTube clips that have been made into often like old film pieces and things like that. But stuff that already inherently loops, just sort of calls out to be clipped, and owls in particular. Cats also really good for loops. This is like an ode to the old under construction GIF, except it's a classic. It's a classic. Who hasn't felt that way? It's common to us. It's good. It's good stuff.
Wow. Each day as a GIF is filled with moments like this. It's one of my favorites.
It should be each moment, really. It's a GIF. So, I don't know, I think that viewing them in a mass without any taxonomy applied to them, without any real categorization whatsoever, reduces them just to a moment of something being silly. And I'm not quite, like the artist in me is not satisfied with the way it's done, but the like internet ADD person in me is completely satisfied. So that's what my favorites tend toward.
That's great. What about you? Anyone who inspires you?
I think it's easy to guess that this is a dancing girl in red. Yeah. She is, yeah, she's my idol, and also I researched her history, how she was made, and it's a very exciting story. Can you see, by the way, that there is a pixel forgotten there under her, what is it, left feet? There is one pixel. It's, yeah, thank you. And this, it is a beautiful, I think it's, what is beautiful about it, that so many people copied this file and always change the name. It appears under so many names, but nobody dared to remove this pixel. Yeah, it's still there, whatever the file name would be. Yeah.
That's great. So I guess process is something that's kind of interesting to me, because we've got people that are here actually creating GIFs, and then we've actually got people that are drawn to collecting them. Some people who do both. But I'd be interested to hear a little bit about let's start with you, Alana. What makes you choose a GIF?
I think I go looking for them often as a response to something. So in a conversation with a friend, or instant messenger, or Twitter, or on a message board, someone will say something that I start to respond to by writing a response, but then decide I would much rather just post an image. And so there's like a frantic, immediate burst of trying to find that perfect image and combing through a few sources. And I don't know, it's very personal. I think in the moment, sort of, what would this person think was funny, or what would they be most bothered by sometimes. But I think that really sparks my going out and hunting one down.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. Jonny, what about you?
Well, I was going to ask, so you have a partner. You do this with a partner, right?
Yeah, yeah. We started together.
So I often, in maybe the last year of the meme, everything that I've posted has mostly been a response to someone else. Like the community, it started with 5 people, now it's between maybe 10 and 15 people who are a part of it. And everything I feel like I've posted has been a response to somebody else or something else that's already on the site. And so I feel like it's conversational. And does that happen?
Yeah,
with you?
and to watch it become abstracted, I think, is important, because it's a third element. Because you have both of your contributions, and then you have the contributions together and how they play with each other, and then people who don't know any of you,
right,
observing it and interpreting it, and liking or hating it.
Yeah, so that's been a big thing.
That's very
cool. Like that, in terms of process of posting GIFs.
Right.
It's really just the fact that I'm having a conversation with my friends in public.
Yeah.
That's kind of that. And I don't really make GIFs necessarily. I've made stuff for people to make GIFs with, but I'm not a big. I go with my too. But usually it's curious.
Yeah, I'm a big consumer, more than a producer. But what about you, Aaron?
Well, I've done a number of projects in the past where I sort of use GIFs as a sort of raw material that I can sculpt into whatever way I need. There's a lot of great little resources on the internet where you can, especially for old video game sprites and that kind of thing, there's just massive repositories of GIFs that are well structured. And actually, I just sent you an email to a link to maybe something we can bring up, or a project I did where I took this GIF that this guy Paul Robertson made, who I'm a big fan of, and he made this GIF that's this sort of morphing character that morphs between a bunch of different characters over the course of 70-some frames. Yeah, so maybe you go to the third image there.
This one?
Third one? Yeah, I think that one.
Okay.
Is that? So go to the full-size one. So basically, I did this sort of project where I found this set of data on the NASA website that was topographical data of the moon. So it has all these different sort of latitude and longitude points with different height levels on the moon. And I mapped those height levels to different frames across this GIF, which loops seamlessly. So is that going to work? Oh, did you go to the original size?
I did.
Yeah, you're going to need to scroll down because the top left corner is empty.
Broken Crow. Let's try this again. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so because of the nature of this GIF, because it's like this seamlessly morphing character that like goes from this character like smoothly into the next one, it becomes this like kind of thing you can use to visualize this continually shifting kind of data. So there's like, it smoothly grades between characters as you get to like different crevices in the moon, craters and stuff. So it's a pretty massive image.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I gotta ask, how'd you make this? Like,
I wrote a piece of software that did it. Yeah.
All right.
That's my main working method with most things.
Code's a big part of your creativity.
Yeah, yeah. Can we see it animated? Is that? Can we see it animated? There is an animated version, but it's, well, first of all, the first iteration of this project, I did it at like a quarter of the data, so it's a much, I think, yeah. Well, the Flickr video compression is going to just eviscerate it, or it did eviscerate it. It looks terrible, but what the hell?
Still, wow.
No. I can't personally identify all of the characters in it. There's definitely like a Dragon Quest the blue guy, and there's a couple Pokemon in there, but I don't think I'm quite well studied enough to identify all of them. I think there's like 11 or 13 different characters that it morphs between. So yeah.
That's great.
So yeah, so like I said, like using GIFs that are available to me in sort of slightly unconventional ways as a sort of raw material to work from has been sort of an interest of mine.